All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the 2023 Fantasy Baseball Team Previews here at Fantasy Six Pack. I'm your host, Jason Beckner. You can find me on Twitter here at JRBex. And I'm also here joined by my co-host, JP. You can find him on Twitter at DapScout. This episode, we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia Phillies team preview. Before I get started, though, if you want to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube down below. We're rolling out a bunch of great fantasy baseball content coming up, leading up to this, your draft season as well as all season long. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and head on over to fantasysixpack.net and check out all the great content we have over there. You can also subscribe to be a member, get some of our award-winning content as well. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and jump into the starting lineup of the Philadelphia Phillies and the fantasy baseball team previews. All right, so first off, we got leading off is Trea Turner. And then we're following up right there behind him with Kyle Schwarber. And right behind hitting in the 3 holes, Rhys Hoskins. And then we got JT Realmuto hitting cleanup. Nick Castellanos right behind him. And then in the 6th hole, we got Derek Hall. Hitting 7th is Alec Baum. Hitting 8th is Bryson Stott. And rounding it all out is Brandon Marsh. I think right now there might be a name missing from this lineup that maybe people might be expecting, and that is none other than Bryce Harper. And I think one of the biggest, maybe dilemmas or questions going into the season is where, and if you are planning on, where are you going to be drafting Bryce Harper? Right now, currently stands with an ADP of 143. If you may or may not know, he was had Tommy John surgery late last year. So again, he's a hitter, so it's not quite the same timetable as a pitcher. So Shohei Ohtani had the same, Tommy John surgery, but he's also a hitter as well. And I think he came back roughly around 7 months, 8 months in that time frame. What is your outlook on Bryce Harper, and are you planning on targeting him?
If I get, a Groupon discount on Bryce Harper, I'm not going to say no, but I don't expect a lot.
Is
And this,
143 a Groupon discount?
no, I mean, oh,
Okay, so
it's
here's
right
some
there. Like, yeah, go ahead. Please tell me some other names that are
some other
there.
names in that range. You got let's see, Anthony Santander, Andrew Vaughn, Giancarlo Stanton,
Oh,
Hunter Renfroe, Ian Happ, um,
yeah,
just to name a few.
the second name there, right? Vaughn. I'm a Vaughn, Andrew Vaughn guy, so I'm an
A
Andrew Vaughn
Chris
apologist.
Bryant.
Oof. Yeah, see, look, there's too many names that, well, I mean, Stanton not being one of them, but there's too many other names that are going to play.
Right.
And Bryce Harper, yes, he's going to be able to DH now in the NL. That's going to help him. But for me, my concern is him DHing only. This is somebody who plays with all of his heart, gets extremely excited when he makes a play in the outfield, or he guns somebody down with his huge arm out of the outfield, or does something else. For him to just be sitting on the bench, I just wonder if he's going to be able to sync with that. On top of that, the guy generates so much power in his swing that, again, I'm not a swing expert, but I'm just concerned of him re-aggravating it, not trusting, his body. One thing you hear so many times when somebody has, ACL or some other type of reconstruction of any type of ligament or joint is it took them a while to trust that joint again. And when you're talking about somebody who knows their body as well as Bryce Harper constantly talks about, just kind of treating his body the temple that he has, right? This is not the Babe Ruth type person who's eating 80 hamburgers and smoking cigars. I just wonder if he can trust his body at that point. And I don't trust that he's not going to have some hiccups and that he's not going to get frustrated that his body's not performing and doing what he thinks it should be doing. So I am going to avoid Bryce Harper as much as possible till maybe a 180-ish price range. That would be something where I feel safe.
Yeah, I think like the preliminary outlook right now is for him to return. I mean, I think the earliest would be like early June, mid-June, and at that point, I don't see them coming back. Yeah, him coming back before the All-Star break, right? That's what I mean. I think safely you can look at after the All-Star break, him coming back. So, are you willing to draft someone in like the 140 range
Right.
in some head-to-head leagues, you're talking maybe a month, 4 weeks. In a roto, you're talking like 3 months. That just seems quite a steep price. And with those other names in that range, I'd be more willing to take a gamble on some of those other guys. Even someone like Chris Bryant, now full-time in Coors. He hasn't really shown the capabilities that he did back in his Chicago Cub days, but I'd rather take a flyer on him and get a whole year's worth of that versus 3 months to a month of Bryce Harper. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't foresee myself drafting any Bryce Harper unless, again, I don't hate players. I hate ADPs. Um,
Right.
if I can get him at a great discount, like I said, 180 to 200 range, I'd gladly take him in this, even without an IL spot on my team. I'd let him sit at my bench for at least the first like 3-4 months.
Absolutely.
Some other names here that obviously you got Trea Turner at the top, uh, arguably the 1-1 in many drafts. You're going to get speed, you're going to get power. Kyle Schwarber, we've seen the power now, but can we continually see it on a consistent basis? Right, we've seen these up and down seasons with the power. Do you foresee another 40+ season, 40+ home run season out of Kyle Schwarber this year?
Every time I've said no, and I've said no the last 2 years, he's destroyed me. I'm gonna say yes. So yes, I do. I absolutely do. Kyle Schwarber to me is somebody who constantly it you want to think that there's no way he can do it, and he just does it. He just does it, and
Mm-hmm.
I've just come to accept it. It's just gonna happen. There's no logic behind it. I mean, yes, sure, there's numbers and there's exit velocity. We can look at all that stuff, but there's some players out there that just always prove you wrong, and Kyle Schwarber is that guy for me. So I will say nothing ill about Kyle Schwarber, uh, and I just know he'll do it. He's just gonna do it.
Yeah.
35 plus home runs, no problem. Just put it in the books.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of projection systems. They go a little more on a conservative side, and they have him projected at 36 home runs. So, chalk it up to 40+ again for Schwarber. Some of these more lesser known names, though, like right now, again, we have Derek Hall at DH filling in for that injured Bryce Harper. Do you know anything about this Derek Hall? I mean, are you willing to? Is he worth drafting even in a stacked lineup?
Well, here's the thing, right? He's in the 6 hole between Castellanos and Bo. Right there, the guy has value, right? Regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of how, now are they going to allow him to, you know, go through ups and downs? I don't know. I mean, he's 27 years old, uh, he, but that slugging percentage that he has is just phenomenal, right? Last year, he was at 522. You're looking at somebody who has a chance to just put up some ridiculous home runs if he can just continue to connect. Now we're looking at an OBP just around, just under 300. I believe in him. I just there's just so much good there that I think that you can do. I because where's Derek Hall? Let me put it this way. Where's Derek Hall's ADP?
Give me one second. I can tell you. It'll take
No
me
problem. So while you're doing that, I just
612
oh yeah, all day.
free all day.
All day. I mean, anybody hitting in the 6 hole here is going to just put up some numbers. So yes, Derek Hall, absolutely. The one person that I know we just jumped over real quick, I just want to highlight again is
Yeah.
Hoskins.
Mhm.
Hoskins is a name that we just don't hear enough of when you hear people highlighting things. I mean, you're looking at somebody who's hitting behind Schwarber, hitting between Real Muto, right? Number 3 hole, and the guy's putting up 30 home runs, 80 RBIs, 80 runs. I mean, the guy is just doing it. And he's hit 27 plus home runs in 4 of his last 6 seasons. So, absolutely. Hoskins, I am buying all the time because he's just not considered, one of those top tier talents in a lot of non-baseball, drafts where you're dealing with a lot of people that are doing their homework. So get as much Hoskins as possible if you can, especially in those like round 6, etc.
Yeah, I think he's one of those, first, with first base being so deep, he's one of those names to just kind of get overlooked. But you're right, he's on base machine, power numbers galore, and counting stats are there. So yeah, I agree. He's one of those overlooked first basemen. And then back to Derek Howard just real quick. I think he's in that lineup because they don't really have anybody else, right? I mean, it's Derek Hall or bust at this point. I mean, even their minor leagues are kind of barren on outfielders that or DHs that they can put in there right now. Alec Baum, we've seen him come up. He had that high, the high prospect hype come up. Had great rookie season, fell off a little bit, but now he's kind of back. I mean, I don't know. Third base isn't the deepest position. I think you could do way worse than Baum.
Sure.
Give me one second. I can give you his ADP. 181. So I mean, it's not like he's not expensive. Is Baum? Would you rather wait? If is Baum someone that you can wait on at third base? Like
Absolutely,
fall behind.
And I picked him up in the 200s on a couple drafts already. So definitely, I can wait on him. And if I don't get him, it's not the worst loss, but I definitely love having him.
Totally agree. All right, so let's go ahead and then jump over to the starting rotation here. We got the ace of the staff is Aaron Nola, followed by Zack Wheeler. The 3-hole is Taijuan Walker. Followed up that with Ranger Suarez, and fifth and final starter right now is Bailey Falter. Obviously, the 1-2 solidified aces, 1A, 1B, and again in this situation, give me those guys all day long. The biggest question marks here come through 3, 4, 5. We saw Taijuan Walker. He's that guy. He's there for you. He'll eat innings when healthy, which he's proven the last couple of seasons.
Right.
But I think the 4 and the 5, one of the biggest question marks. Right now, this is what Fangraph has listed up in there. Bailey Falter is maybe not a name any people have heard of. I'm not sure, if he sticks around. Ranger Suarez seems to be a bit of a jag, right? Just a guy, a little bit above average. I think the biggest outlier here is some of the prospects that they have in this organization, which I just saw the other day too, that some of them have been invited to the big league spring training. Now that doesn't guarantee any of them are going to make the starting rotation, but guys like Micah Bell, Andrew Painter, who I know we discussed before. Do you foresee, Ranger Suarez and Bailey Falter holding on to this 4 and 5 roles going into the season?
No. Easy enough, right? No, absolutely not. Andrew Painter, if he just continues to do what he's doing, he should be in this rotation without a problem. Like, guy's amazing. I am picking him up late in drafts where I can. I've already had him in Dynasty all over the place, trading for him. I expect Andrew Painter, to hit this lineup. Hit this starting rotation without any problems. Ranger Suarez is one name though that I just want to make sure people are aware of. That yes, he is just a guy, but if you look at for a cheap starting pitcher, and if he can even hang on to that fifth spot with Peter coming in or some of these other prospects, especially with Walker's health history, I know he's proven himself healthy, but let's be honest, every year's its own thing. Ricky Suarez can put up some pretty decent numbers, especially considering that this has so much firepower in this lineup that if he can just go 4 or 5 innings with his 3.6 ERA or so, you're going to be putting up wins. And we all know that wins, especially if you're playing roto or head to head, wins are such a big deal. Now, if you're doing something else with quality starts or something of that nature, then yeah, Ranger Suarez is not the guy you want to go for. But if you're looking for wins and a cheap place to get wins, Ranger Suarez is somebody I would definitely covet and be looking for a target.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even just for a jag, I mean, in this lineup, in this team, he could definitely get you double-digit wins if you're in a win league, even as a number 4 starter.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the bullpen here. This is where things get a little bit interesting here, right? We have a slew of closers here. I guess it's going to be more of a closer by committee, which we have Sir Anthony Dominguez, Jose Alvarado, Craig Kimbrell, newly acquired Gregory Soto, and then the mid-rotation guys are Andrew Belletti, Matt Strahm, Connor Brogdon, and then the long reliever being Nick Nelson. Again, I think the biggest question mark here is, of these 4 closer by committee arms, I believe Sir Anthony Dominguez will probably get the nod first. I mean, I don't know. Gregory Soto was just acquired, so maybe there might be a little bit telling writing on the wall there. But we've seen Sir Anthony Dominguez close for Philly in the past. But which of these 4 arms or supposed closers would you prefer?
I am absolutely drafting Dominguez as if he was the closer. Kimbrel to me, and again, I'm in a whole bunch of save plus hold leagues. I am not touching at all. The reason why is Kimbrel has shown that he cannot not be the guy. If
Hmm.
he's the closer, then he's Kimbrel and he's the roller coaster that he always is. But as a setup man, I don't trust him at all. So Sir Anthony Dominguez absolutely is a closer. I'm just concerned that how are they going to get it to him? This is going to be a situation where I mean, yes, Soto's good-ish, and yes, he's had some amazing lockdown seasons, but he can't be your setup man for every game. Alvarado again, another piece. Kimbrel is to me the big question mark. Strom is another huge, check in the right direction. I love Brogdon as well, but I'm just concerned about that setup role. I think there's going to be a lot of shuffling here before we even get to the All Star break, and they might need to bring in another arm, or again, they might be one of these amazing prospects that they have into the bullpen, but Dominguez is the guy. I'm wondering how they're going to bridge that gap to him. That seventh, eighth inning is going to be key, and I am avoiding this entire bullpen unless if I'm in a holds league. If I'm in a saves only league, Dominguez absolutely I'll covet him, but
Hmm.
I'm avoiding the rest of this until things kind of work themselves out.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sir Anthony Dominguez starts off the season as the closer. Not sure he can hold on to that role. To me, I think personally Gregory Soto is probably the best of the four. However, with an ADP of 202, I don't know if I can
Sure.
draft him
Right.
knowing that he's going to be in a bullpen or a closer by committee.
Sure.
Now, that's not to say by July and August he's the primary closer, but I'm not going to draft him based on that, and I can't guarantee he'll be a closer come April. So
Right.
I think that like you, if I'm missed a huge run on closers and Soto's still there or Dominguez is still
Right.
there, I'll grab him. But
Sure.
other than that, I can't justify a 202 ADP for Gregory Soto.
Totally agree.
All right, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the Philadelphia Phillies team preview. Like I said, go ahead and like and subscribe to videos here, so you can stay tuned and got all the other team previews that are coming out here in the next few weeks. And also head on over to fantasy6pack.net, and check out those membership programs. Until next time.
Thank you.